are moving again. We packed up this morning. It's about 9:35. We're making some good time hitting the road. And I think we're headed to a place called Old Kingman Road. It's really not too far from where we're at. But we've been where we were about 2 weeks, and time for someplace new. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. We've got the boys in the back watching a movie, which is so helpful on moving day.
We did have a little incident that we were going to tell you about, though. It's really, really sad one. Those teddy bear, I think they're called, we heard somebody call them teddy bear cactuses, or I'm not sure the technical name, but we were on a hike, and Gabe finds it.
Our middle child,
yeah, our middle child. He likes to go off the beaten path. It keeps him more engaged in the hike. Sometimes when it's just gravel, he gets kind of bored, and so we went off the beaten path, and we were dodging them, and well, they released these little like prickle eggs, and so he was prickle egg. They look like a little egg with a bunch of spikes on it.
It's like their seed thing. But oh man, is it nasty?
It is, and when you brush by them, it'll just come off on you, on your clothes, and then that's it. And they have like barbs. Well, Gabe was trying to. I thought far enough away, but we were following. It was you, then Jackson, and Gabe, and I always pick up the rear. And well, he was trying to dodge one and go around to the little prickle egg.
That was on the ground.
Yeah, and his foot slipped on some rock, and he brushed up against the actual cactus, and on his neck, or like
right
on his
here,
ear.
It was like in his ear,
it
the
came
side
off.
of his head.
Yeah.
And then when it touched him, he kind of naturally put his shoulder up, and then it stuck to his shoulder.
And then he went to grab it, so he ended up having prickles in his hands, all like behind his ear, on the side of his ear, on his neck. So, and we have a picture we'll put in and show you, but it was just, I mean, you go into this adrenaline mode.
Yeah.
I grabbed Zeke's little hat and took the bill of his hat and just clamped it and pulled it off.
And I was holding on to Gabe himself so he wouldn't make it worse.
Yeah. Oh man, what a tough little guy, though. And we had to just, I mean, he was screaming, obviously, and we were just picking him off as fast as we could.
You could hear, like, when you pull it off his skin, it sounded like a zipper. Like,
yeah.
Like, the worst sight ever is seeing your little 3-year-old boy with one of these gnarly-looking things stuck to his head. And when he went like this, obviously it pushed it in further.
Yeah, it was
man, it was rough. Rough.
Not only was it the big ones, too, but it was like these little itty-bitty, like, hair-like one spikes, too, that we had to like really look for and just put him in the sunlight and pick out. But he's okay now. It was very traumatic for him, but he was such a trooper, and we felt so bad. And after the fact, it's like that adrenaline just stops flowing, and then Todd and I are both like, I could just hear it right now thinking about it, because it was horrible. But anyway, he's okay, but just watch out for those. You think that oh no, we're careful, it would never happen to us, but I mean, little things.
Always be on the lookout.
Yeah, little things happen, and you don't expect it, and it's not your fault. It's just things happen, and so just watch. If you've got kids and you're in the desert, watch out for those cactuses or cacti, because I mean, they are nasty.
Gnarly little critters.
Yeah, and there were tons of them. There's tons of them in this
there's
area.
Like fields of them around.
But anyway, we will check in when we get to Kingman Road and show you our next spot.
Old Kingman Road.
Old Kingman Road?
Old Kingman Highway. I think it's Old Kingman Highway.
We're hoping to be able to get the bikes out here, because at the last place, it was just the rocks were too jagged. It was not really good for riding, but so we'll check in with you in a little bit. See you.
update. We're still on our way to Old Kingman Highway, and we're doing about 20 miles an hour because I'm pretty sure our turbo just went out in our truck. So yay! That's
discouraged.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna limp in there, and I'm gonna get in contact with a mechanic over down in was it Bullhead?
Yeah.
I think it is, or Laughlin. So yeah, I've got a readout that connects to my OBD port here in my truck, and we were driving along, and we just like lost power big time. And I'm looking at my turbo boost, and it's not doing nothing. So I'm thinking that's what happened. I think we lost a turbo, which is not a cheap fix, but we got to take care of it. So here we go.
Roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Roll with the punches.
And that was definitely a blow to the
I know,
midsection.
and especially after we had to get our injector done in Quartzsite. That's kind of so it's a little bit of a bummer, but that's why you have to have a backup, like emergency fund kind of thing, because these things happen. It's constantly put under pressure, and of traveling and stuff and towing. Here we've got 2 miles to go.
Then we got to find a spot, but
yeah, but we're like limping into our spot, and it's Sunday, so we're gonna have to wait, and we're gonna try to go get food, but so that way when we bring the truck to the mechanic, we'll have some food. But
yeah, because normally when we move, if it's a couple hours, we stock up the day before on our food, so that way when we get there, we can just kind of set up and we're fine. Well, today we knew we were moving close to a city still.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, it'll be early enough. It's not a long move day. So once we set up, we'll just run into town. Well, because we're really low on food.
Yeah.
So.
But we're just creeping along, and on the side, I don't know if that's legal or not, but
It's safer.
It's much safer, and we're just trying to get to our spot. So, because we're able to go slow, and so we're just really concerned trying to just get there and before this thing dies. But and somebody's not happy in the back because Mommy had cabbage last night, so he's a little gassy and not too pleased with us right now. So, but anyway, we'll check in again when we get to our spot. But
so we got to our spot. We actually got here a couple hours ago, but we unhooked and went to town and got some groceries. We can go a little faster without the rig behind us, but I didn't realize how steep the grade was getting up to this spot from Bullhead City towards Kingman. So that's probably one of the factors, but seeing as how I'm pretty sure it's the original turbo on this truck, and it's got 189,000 miles. It lived a good life, but I'm guessing that's what happened. I guess we'll find out. I'm going to call some shops tomorrow. It's Sunday today, so everything's closed. But let me flip the camera around here, and this here is our spot. It's not too bad. We don't have anybody near us at all, even a little bit. The nearest closest person is like, I don't know, half a mile down the road. So it's a pretty good little spot. Also, want to show y'all these cheap little solar lights here. 97 cents at Walmart. I just made these little stands for them because getting the spikes in the ground isn't the best thing, or the easiest thing. So these little solar lights right here, we use as a little barrier for our kids at night. When they're lit up, that's the barrier that they can't go out. So we kind of have them spread out a little bit, just kind of encompassing right outside the door. So that way when it's time to come in, or it's getting a little too dark for them to be spread out, we just tell them to come inside the lights, and it works out pretty good for us. Both of them referred me to have to do. So not looking forward to that. It's probably 5 or 6 miles to town, and riding a bike up this 6% grade for 4.5 miles.
It's not something I want to do.
You gotta know when to hold them, and you gotta know when to fold them.
What with the punches was my quote last time?
I was doing the Willie Nelson song. I gotta edit that out though. Copyright. Not as bumpy as our
All
last
last night, we're surrounded by donkeys, so we're just hearing the hee-hawing all night. So, but that was fun, and the boys love it. It's a great little area for them to play.
We're right next to a wash, and they got all their little construction trucks, monster trucks that they use, and make little dirt jumps and stuff. So it all works out good for them.
Yeah, but we are hoping for the best and praying for the best. That it won't be too expensive. Yeah, but you know what? Since we've had the rig, everybody talks about in the beginning you go through a lot of little things, and let me just tell you, since we bought the RV and decided to go RVing, if I missed something, let me know. But our air conditioner on the RV went out. Air conditioner on the truck went out.
It was our fault.
Yeah, it was.
In the RV.
We didn't have it properly.
Well, when we bought it, like we had said in our story video, we were staying at our house. We moved into it in June when we put our house up for sale, and it's summer, so we ran our AC, and nobody scold us. We know better now. We ran our AC off of just a 110 plug, and so I think it had low voltage. Over time, it just kind of killed the motor in there. So, but we replaced it while we was in Lake Havasu, and we got a new AC up there, and we're all good to go. So.
And we got the truck fixed.
Yeah, the AC in the truck went
air conditioner, which wasn't too bad because it has a new compressor.
Yeah, when we bought it, had a new compressor.
So it was like $138, which wasn't. We were so ecstatic, but because you can run into some money with those, but and the back of the RV, the leak that was concealed.
Yeah.
The people had
the dealer concealed a little hole.
Yeah.
In the rear, I guess passenger side corner of the bunk room, there was a little hole inside the wall. It wasn't coming through the roof into the room, but it warped the back, ate the wood away, and there was some rotten wood in there. While we were in Texas before we actually launched, me and her dad, we pulled we took everything in the bunk room out to pull the wall down and replaced all the rotten wood and fix it up. It's actually stronger than when it was brand new right now. So, but that was a big deal.
Ordeal. The lever for our Blackwater tank.
Yeah. The first time
broke. The first time we were trying to use it. It just wouldn't work.
No, it ended up breaking. So that was a pain in the rear.
And then our injector, getting into Quartzsite, which was almost $1,000 to repair, that busted, and now the turbo. So we're hoping that it's smooth.
Things level off.
Level off.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop Amanda and the boys off at the park, and I'm gonna take it to the shop. So that's where we're at, and that's what we're doing.
We'll check in with you later. And the kitchen.
I forgot one thing.
Yeah, the flooring in the kitchen from the slide is still tearing. So every time
it's not tearing anymore.
Because you've lifted up.
Yes, every time we move the slide in and out, I have to pick it up so that way the front doesn't rub because something's sticking out and we haven't quite figured that out yet. So.
He picks it up while I push the button.
She moves it in or out. And it hasn't tore up the floor anymore since I've been doing that.
No, but it's a pretty decent home.
Well, I just am pulling out from the auto repair place. The mechanic looked at my truck and says, now, I don't like to be wrong, but in this case, I'm so happy that I'm pretty sure I was wrong. which is going to save us a lot of money. He believes it's not the turbo, that something maybe with the intercooler or something came off, or there's a hole somewhere. So they're going to call me in a day or two. I'm going to bring it in and they're going to check it out further. But so far, it's going to be at least a little cheaper than what we initially planned. So. So it is the following Monday after we last recorded anything, and I'm finally taking the truck back into the mechanic for him to more thoroughly check things out. I thought we would have been in there sooner, but they told me they would call, and they never called, so finally I called him back, or called him up, and he says, okay, we'll just bring it in first thing Monday morning. So that's what I'm doing. And as you can see, I'm all by myself. And let me touch on that for a second. Since we've been RVing, we really haven't left each other a whole lot. If we have, it's been for a very short period. Or say we'll go to town and I'll drop Amanda off and a boy, and we'll split up for an hour while we do separate errands. But I'm going for potentially the whole day, and this feels really weird, leaving my family for the day. Now, when we was in Sticks and Bricks, and I was a cop and I was working all the time, well, that was normal. You just you kiss your family goodbye and then you go out to work. Well, I haven't had to do that since we've been on the road. We've always been together, and it just feels so weird leaving them, and I don't really like it. You grow closer as you live in a small space, as you're always together, and I sure don't like leaving them behind. And I guess that's a good thing. So, well, we're gonna go to this mechanic shop and hope they have some good news for me. Okay, well, you remember when I had said I don't like being wrong, but when I am, this would be something to be wrong about? Well, unfortunately, I wasn't wrong. I just pulled out of the mechanic shop, and we confirmed that it is indeed the turbo. So sometimes I just know what I'm talking about, okay? So that being said, I have an appointment in 2 days. Bring the truck in first thing in the morning, and they're already ordering the turbo. It should be here tomorrow. Wednesday they're going to replace it. It says it should be 4 to 5 hours, and then we'll be good to go. So Wednesday morning, drop the family off at the park, drop the truck off, ride my bike to the park, spend some time with them, pick up the truck, and then we should be good to go. So we're gonna pray that it goes that smooth. Okay, so yesterday was the day that the truck was supposed to be fixed. We took it in just as we had planned, dropped the family off at the park. I went and dropped the truck off. The turbo was sitting there, and the new boots that we had ordered for it. Had to spend a lot of time at the park all day. And,
all day.
all day.
8:30 to 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 8:30 to 5 o'clock was at the park. I had left at 3 o'clock to go back to where the truck was getting fixed, because they haven't called yet, and I thought, well, for sure it would be done soon, and maybe me being there might help speed things up a little bit. So I went there, and they had the old turbo off. We're just about ready to put the new one in. They had it up there, and when he was looking for the holes for the bolts to mount it in, he saw that it was the wrong turbo. So
I'm here.
yeah, so it's the same exact turbo itself, but because it was for a different year model truck, the bolt holes that bolted it to the truck were wrong. So he had to put the old turbo back on just so we had something to drive, because the family was at the park and miles away from our RV. So since it's the wrong turbo, they ordered another one, which technically is there probably right now, but the mechanic was leaving last night and won't be back till Monday. So we got to wait till the following Monday before we can get our truck fixed. So we're stuck here for almost another week, which is fine. It's not a bad place. We like it here. But yeah, that kind of threw a little wrench in our works. We planned on being in Sedona. Well, what time is it? In a couple hours. We'd already be on our way there right now. You know, sometimes your plans don't go as you planned, and everything happens for a reason, and you just got to roll with it. So that's what we're doing. I'm just here editing the video, just shooting a little closing to it. The boys are over there playing with their monster trucks. Amanda is working on some stuff that we plan on putting on Etsy. Thanks for watching.
Give us a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and ding that bell to get notifications. Be sure to follow our awesome adventures.
Thanks.
See you later.